thank you for sitting down with me today, Carmen.
Of course, Linden.
It's such a pleasure, and I will say I just had the opportunity to watch you across the street at your Women in Leadership panel, and you are definitely talking the talk and walking the walk. My heartstring moment was when you mentioned your daughter, who was in the front row.
Yes.
And what an example that you are to her. So that was really, really wonderful.
Thank you. She's in the business now, so it's really exciting to bring her along to everything and have her integrated into the community like this.
Yeah, and speaking of the business, I know that you were in the agency side for quite a long time and then moved over to Indeed. Did you have, there's going to be kind of a theme in our conversation today, but was there any kind of defining, pole position moment?
Pole position, very good.
Exactly. You're giving it away, our secret. Was there any moment that kind of struck you that said, as a marketer, this is my philosophy kind of moving forward?
Yeah, so being on the agency side for so many years, I loved it. I worked for founders on, Roy Spence and Judy Trabulsi, all at GSD&M, and it was an incredible experience. And I think what they did there was we were an integrated agency, or they're an integrated agency. And so even though my core discipline was in media, I sat across from the executive creative director and the chief strategy officer and the new business. And so we all kind of felt like we walked in each other's kind of job descriptions. And so an opportunity came up at Indeed to be global VP of marketing there. And it was very different. It was a time where I'm moving from kind of storytelling and creativity, bringing over storytelling and creativity, but now working with product and UX and really understanding how we are tying marketing to business outcomes. And so that was, I think, my pole defining moment, which is so exciting. It's a challenge every day, but I get to wake up every day and help people get jobs. So what could be better than that?
Exactly. You make people very, very happy.
Yes.
For sure. Congratulations on the big announcement. I think it was this week or even the prior week about your new partnership with Oracle Red Bull Racing.
Exactly.
That is huge for the industry, for the consumers of your brand, so to speak. When I think about racing, I think about, they are all about speed. They're about performance. They're about teamwork. And as you think about Indeed and the marketing of Indeed, kind of how do you use those same elements as you talk to both employers as well as potential candidates?
Yeah, great question. It was really part of our thinking going into the partnership was how are we authentic in that way? And when you think about Red Bull Racing, you think about, to your point, teamwork and performance, and you think about the skills, and you think about the team behind. It's not just the driver. It's the engineers and the pit crew and the data scientists. And we know when you can get the right team, employers are always looking for the right team. And when you have that perfect match of skills to opportunity, that's when performance happens. And so that really is all about why we have leaned into Red Bull Racing and F1. And so it really is about matching the right skills, getting the right team, high performance. And then on the candidate side, it's really about ensuring that people know that their skills, they want to be seen for what they have to offer. Right. And they are more than a resume or a CV or a profile. And so we're really uplifting people's skills. We've expanded our profile on our site. So we're more than, it used to be where you would go in and see like, where do you want to work and what's the job you want to work at? What's the title? And now we ask a plethora of questions, including skills-based questions, to ensure that we're giving people the right match, sometimes in opportunities that they would not have thought of. And so it really is about teamwork, right skills, finding the match for both the employer side and the job seeker side.
Yeah, I love that you talked about kind of the people behind the scenes because to your point, for the driver, it is the engineers, the technician, et cetera. and you are almost that behind the scenes partner for both employees and candidates alike.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And they also lean into a lot of technology, and we plug for our products real quickly. We have some new AI products which are all about screening and sourcing, all AI driven. And so it really does allow people to match with opportunities, and employers get a far more quicker time to hire on it. So it is also the technology side that we're in, the innovation side, Red Bull Racing, and
right,
and
it's that
indeed.
speed and innovation.
Exactly. Yes, thank you.
I'm glad you brought up AI, because it has to happen in every conversation here at South by Southwest. And Indeed is really at the forefront when it comes to innovation and how they're using AI to do that matching. How do you balance that technology and innovation with kind of the human element when people, especially candidates, are at their most vulnerable, they need empathy? So how is that balanced with it?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because you don't want to slow down the speed that AI gets you. However, at the same time, you want to make sure the human element is part of that. And so everything from aligning with partnerships like this where people can see their human potential, but from a business standpoint and Indeed standpoint, it is about the products that we offer, where we work with candidates to help them mock interview. And so when they show up at the interview in that one-to-one, that they're ready for that. And so we try to facilitate that in a much tighter way. So again, the matching and the AI on that side is kind of the foundation, but we don't lose the human connection at the top, nor do we lose it when we work with employers. The last thing employers want is to just put things on a site and then just candidates
hope
pop
for the best.
Exactly. And AI has actually really led to this sea of sameness. What's happened is that all these candidates are using AI to write their cover letters, to write their resumes. And so now when a hiring manager used to get 100 resumes, now they're getting 1,000, and they all look the same, which is why we have to really do our due diligence. And we created the smart screening and sourcing AI products to really allow that deeper match on a more depth profile, and then ensure that human connection.
Yeah, I feel like Indeed has done a good job from not being just a job board, but really your career performance, your career
an end-to-end platform.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. It's great. Let's talk about racing a little bit and kind of looking forward. Obviously, it's a big global partnership. How do you think this new partnership is going to kind of how are you going to use it to talk to your audiences differently than you have been currently?
Yeah, it is, with the plethora of choices and the fragmentation in media, and we always talk about you have to go where the attention is. And sports, and F1 in particular, are where the fandoms are. And so we talk a lot about fandoms, because if you can align where people are passionate in an authentic way, then we hope that alignment is going to really help us talk a little differently to job seekers, especially in that fandom, when we talk about innovation and performance and skills of the team that we just talked about. And so I do think that it's going to be a way to lean in, have deeper engagement. Obviously, it comes with things that we're working on right now through hospitality and creating customer experiences, which is so cool. It's so fun, especially on the F1 stage, right? It's like so cool. And it's global. We have a global audience. So it really is something that that has, I think, going to be this is our first year. I'll let you know how it goes. But and we're in a 3-year deal.
Okay.
But I'm really excited about it already. I can't tell you when it was announced how many emails I got.
Of course.
I mean, it was incredible. So already I'm very positive.
as you should be. Very exciting time. You talked a little bit about this being a global partnership, and
Mhm.
obviously you're a global brand. How do you see using some of the assets that may come as part of this partnership, whether that be the drivers, events at racetrack, the car itself, et cetera?
It is end to end. And so everything from kind of on air, we're on car, so when they're seeing the races, you'll see Indeed here also as well, not just on the car, but on the suit. I guess.
Yes, suit.
And
you're already
on
getting
the helmet,
lingo.
on the helmet. And then through signage, we are partnering with all of their organic social, which is very authentic to do that. They actually, I don't know if you saw the footage, the racing footage, but they actually did that for us. We gave, and so, and it came to life in a very F1 Indeed way. So, we'll be using all of that in terms of distribution and outreach, but then from a experience standpoint, we're customizing experience at a very deep level, depending on which race. And so obviously, and then we always have to tie it to business outcomes. So we'll be looking not just kind of at our people, our job seekers responding more quickly, let's say, but then also we track qualified leads and revenue from meetings and events from the F1 over 6, 12, and 18 months. So it does have to tie. It's not just fun.
There are KPIs.
There are KPIs, and it does have to make sense.
Great. And the sport obviously is growing exponentially. The fandom, the momentum, the coveted Gen Z audience.
You'll have to come and join us. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm there. Sign me up.
Okay.
You've got multiple different audiences that you cater to. Everyone, is anyone who's a candidate could be any age, any background. How are you going to kind of balance those messages to all those different audiences as you use kind of racing as your part of your story?
That's a great question. And so, and especially today, whether it was within racing or even not, it is the question that we talk about probably the most at Indeed, which is the audience. And how do we understand, because when you're trying to reach the entire labor force, how do you really understand what are those subsegments, right, of the labor force, and how do you speak to them? And so we are diving deep into that. You'll see a lot of it come through F1. F1 actually is awesome because it reaches a young 18 to 34, but it reaches a strong knowledge worker audience. And so we're creating custom messages for all of that.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, it is a year from now, and you and I are sitting in these exact same seats.
Okay.
So we'll have a year of the partnership under your belt. Okay. What are we going to be talking about?
We are going to be talking about how F1 and Indeed unlocks human potential and creates high performance, because that's how we're going to win the race. That's how we're going to win the job seeking and employer race and the F1 race.
The races.
All the races.
All the races all the time. Before we leave that, one kind of final question on that is all about culture. Yeah. And obviously there is a culture in the racing community. There's the internal culture at Indeed. I think employers now are doing a better job of not just saying, we need to fill this position, but here is the culture of our company. Are you a good fit? Talk to me a little bit about the Indeed culture internally and how you bring that to life.
Yeah. We definitely have a high performance culture. We are a tech company. We are constantly building, testing, breaking, rebuilding products to meet our really our customers' needs. But we are also, as a global company, we are one team, and we look at ourselves as one team. So we have conversations that, we are a global company, and so we have a global kind of positioning. But we also recognize that what's important in France is very different than what's important in Sydney versus Germany versus Japan. And so we spend a lot of time, not just from a localization standpoint, but we call it a transcreation. So it's many times we're custom building off of a global platform, but what does that global platform and how does that come to life in each market? And so that's really how we build this, and it will be no different for F1. Yeah. Depending on where that race is and how it comes to life in that market, it will all be very local to the market.
Yeah, I love that personalization. It really feels like whether you're an employee or a candidate, you're talking to me, you're relating to me,
right, and
my particular job search or need.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 lightning round questions.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, the first one is, what is your your pit crew moment? Like, how do you recalibrate? You've had a busy week globally running Indeed's marketing. Yeah. How do you relax, take a step back?
I think it's really important to stop once in a while and kind of get back into the quiet. I feel like, whether that's a shower moment or whether that's sitting outside on the deck or whatever it is, that you have to kind of come back to yourself and really get perspective. Sometimes things move so quickly and so fast that you almost get so caught up into it. Instead of thinking, you find yourself reacting, especially in high performance cultures. And you just can't do that. If you're going to do a service to your team and your company and the business impact that you're making, you have to stop and you have to kind of step back and look at the big picture. And so things that help me do that are obviously my family, which is just everything to me. And then my friends, we like to travel a lot. So we're big into experiences as a family. And so we travel and kind of that's what our focus is. And then again, just walking around Lady Bird Lake is just wonderful. Have you done that yet out here?
I have not.
Okay. Well, you should try it before you go.
Okay.
It really is just a wonderful time to kind of collect your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And it sounds like you actually take advantage of all of that as well.
I do, yes.
Good. And last question. If there were a mantra, think of your internal team as your pit crew, what would their mantra be?
Oh, gosh, that is so good. Their mantra would be right talent, right opportunity, high expectation and performance. That's what it would be.
All right.
With support.
Right.
With the arms
not on
around,
your own.
Not on your own. We're all in this together. We're one team.
That's right. All about teamwork.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much. This has been just wonderful, and I'll be waiting for my race ticket.
Okay. Well, you are invited officially.
Thank you.